rock. There's rocks down there. G'day guys, I'm here at Tad Tayicseua waterfall, one of probably 20 plus on the big loop for the Bolaven Plateau, or the Pakse Loop as it's also known. In this video I'm going to be striving to show you all of the waterfalls that you can do along the big loop of the Pakse Loop, as well as chucking in a few other different activities that you can use to fill up your time that aren't so much waterfalls. They are things other than waterfalls. However, they're still things, and things are important. So with that great intro out of the way, let's get stuck into the video. Now, the Pakse Loop, or the Bolaven Plateau, is all about the waterfalls. There are thousands, maybe not thousands, there are a lot. I'm going to keep a running track throughout the video of the amount of waterfalls that we've visited. Now, I'm not saying that this is an exclusive list of every waterfall, because it is subjective depending on what you count as being on the loop and how far you're willing to go off the loop to view it. I am going to cover all of the main waterfalls that you will find in pretty much all of the blogs and videos, all of the ones that are recommended on the maps that they hand out at the motorbike rental shops for the big loop will all be covered here, as well as an extra or two possibly. So I'm here on day 2 of the Pakse Loop. I've got another 2 days to go, plus a bonus day at Wat Phou Temple. Let's jump back to the start of Pakse Loop. We'll give a brief overview of Pakse, how to get here, and the overview of Laos, where we're going during this video.
This video takes place in Laos, a landlocked country in Southeast Asia, sharing a border mostly with Thailand and Vietnam, but also 3 other countries. The Pakse Loop is also called the Bolaven Plateau. The reason for this is because it is a plateau, which can be seen on this topographic map. Because of this raised elevation and the tropical climate, there is a lot of water offshoot, which creates a lot of waterfalls. This is what the Pakse Loop is all about. The most common way of coming down here is by flying into Vientiane, catching an overnight bus. This bus also goes through Tad Faek. A lot of people will do the Tad Faek Loop and the Pakse Loop back to back, or people coming up from Cambodia from the south after stopping in the 4,000 Islands will come to the Pakse Loop. I have videos on both 4,000 Islands and Pakse Loop if you are interested in watching those as well. The Pakse Loop or Bolaven Plateau can be done in a smaller loop, usually 1 or 2 nights, or a larger loop, usually 3 or 4 nights. I'll be covering the larger loop in this video, which also covers all of the waterfalls from the small loop. Day 1 has these activities. This is for the small loop as well. Day 2 and 3 differ, with these activities out in the southeast corner. This area here is a cluster of waterfalls called Tad Tayicseua. This is another cluster here called the Four Sisters, but this is accessible on the small loop. That's the basic gist of the Pakse Loop. Day 1 to Tad Lo village, Day 2 to Hoi Kong, Day 3 to Pak Soung. The day before though, I had to get up from Don Khon. Luckily this is not too hard, simply catching a ferry into Nakasong on the mainland and then getting a bus from there. The bus only takes 2.5, maybe 3 hours. It's not the most comfortable. Since I had a bit of food poisoning though, I was glad to try and sleep. Once into Pakse, I went and rented my motorbike. I was ready to leave first thing the next day.
I am on my way to the first attraction of day 1 of the Pakse Loop. 2 kilometres detour off the main road. I have the worst visor. It won't stay up.
The ride out to the first attraction today is quite an easy one. The roads are in good condition. It takes about 40 minutes.
Alright guys, so we made it. We are on the Pakse Loop and there wasn't too much to film on the way out of town. The road conditions are brilliant compared to the Tad Faek Loop, but the scenery nowhere near as good. You don't have those cast limestone formations. We're just on stop 1. It's known as Pakse Loop waterfall, that's the area. This one is actually Mat Gneuang or Mat Gneuang waterfall, and this area is abandoned. What you will be recommended from places like Miss Noi motorbike rental on their maps that they hand out, Pakse Loop waterfall is on there, but it's crossed out. They no longer recommend people come here The reason being is because it is abandoned. There is no parking fee, parking attendant. Obviously, coming to places where your bike's unattended, it's more likely to be stolen than it is at any of the other places where you have parking fees and people watching the bikes. I won't go for a swim for the camera gear, but also it's about 8:45 in the morning. It's pretty cold. We're going to check out Pakse Loop waterfall on the way back out. Both part of the same site, neither with proper scooter attendances. So if you want to come here, you do so at your own risk. The bike shops won't recommend it, but it's nice. I've got it to myself. So just on the bike rental, I went with a Honda 125. It was only 190,000 kit per day. I can extend it with WhatsApp message. I went for 5 or 6 days, I can't remember. Yeah, it's just more comfortable and it gets to higher speeds easier. I went with Laos motorbike rental, no dramas. I did check out Miss Noya, chatted to the owners there about the loop. I did check out Bolaven Plateau, trail, motorbike. So yeah, let's have a look around these two waterfalls and then we'll head on to Tad Champee. Just heading down to Tad Tayicseua now. There's a few other people turned up, so I'm not even bothering locking the bikes now. There's enough people here to make me feel a little bit safer about the bike not being stolen.
Just a little more. My mind is wide and aching at the core. Do we ever learn before it's too late? Why we keep falling through it? Should I be leaning on each other all the way? Why we keep waiting for eons, like time's been frozen.
Alright guys, so behind me is Pakse Loop, Tad Tayicseua. It's only about 150 metres away from Mat Gneuang. I wouldn't swim at this one. Doesn't really have a rock pool as such. It's just water gushing downstream. If you're going to go for a swim, definitely pick the other one. Be a long way trying to get back around. I guess you could climb up over there. But yeah, not worth it. So I've had a few people rock up now since I've been here. So obviously, even though the place is no longer recommending it, everyone still comes here anyway. Which is good to see. It's a nice waterfall, both of them. Next one, we've got to go 2 kilometres on that dirt road back to the main road, 2k up the main road, and then we turn off the main road again, left-hand side again, 10 kilometres out to Tad Champee. So yeah, don't know how long this is going to add to the trip, but let's go check it out.
Back on the main road, it is important that you take that turn about 2 kilometres and don't follow Google Maps directions, which will lead you basically to the middle of nowhere. Definitely follow the instructions that were given before. This is a cow.
Let's go together back to where we belong.
So we're at stop number 2 now on the Pakse Loop. This is Champee, Tad Champee, and there are 2 of those on the Pakse Loop. So most people don't come to this one. It's about a 10-kilometre detour down a dirt road, very dusty. I don't know how to get around to the front, so I'm going to go for a little walk around, see if I can get a better angle of it. That 10-kilometre loop, it's pretty good condition, the road. It's just a bit sandy and dusty. It took me 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes to do it. So you're adding 40 minutes to an hour to your trip just in riding time by coming out here. But yeah, this is Tad Champee. I'm going to see if I can get a look at the face of the waterfall. So I sent the drone up. There's a couple different paths down here. I thought I saw 3. For whatever reason, I can't find the 3rd one, unless I'm forgetting now. It's a great place to refresh and cool off. Anyway, Tad Champee. We're going to hit the main road again soon, get to the accommodation options tonight, because I don't pre-book anything. The earlier I get there, the better chance I have of getting the place I want. I'm sure there's got to be a way to get down there. I just don't have time to go exploring right now. Looks like you can climb around there and walk along there and get down those rocks if you wanted to swim in the pools below. So yeah, it is doable. There are a few different levels you can swim on here. I'm going to try and make the smart call here and just move on to the next place. Still got another 3 waterfalls to check out today, and coffee plantation, which I'm not going to do the tour on. I'm just going to grab a coffee.
This particular bit of road is a good bit of road, and the truck did slow down, so you can imagine how dusty it is normally when they don't slow down. About 25 minutes up the road is Mr. Vieng's coffee plantation. This place runs tours, and they are quite popular. Because they are at set times, it has a weird knock-on effect of creating a bottleneck of tourists, and then all the attractions have waves of people coming through as they finish their tours and move on to the next activity. I decided to avoid all this. I had coffee and lunch, and then I left, so I didn't get stuck with a wave of people at the tour. The next stop was something different from the waterfalls. It was a forest temple with some Buddha statues.
Apologies if you wanted to see Mr. Vieng's coffee plantation, but you'll have to watch another video. That sort of thing didn't really interest me. There's like 20 scooters and a couple of cars. It was just packed. Stopped for a coffee. It was not my kind of coffee, I'll put it that way, and just moved on. It's a good chance to skip the crowds. So they do tours of the plantation at 11:30, 1:30, and then there was one even after that as well. Where I am now is the Wat Phou, it's the Big Buddha Forest Temple. Just the whole environment with the trees, the surroundings and that. This is much more something I would enjoy anyway, and maybe you will too. Maybe you would prefer to do the coffee plantation tour. It's completely up to you what you do, but Mr. Vieng's is a popular spot. That's something to take into account if you want to see that, but let's check out this Buddha temple. Just going to head to the cave. So some of these trees are said to be over 1,000 years old. You'll be able to pick the ones, obviously, the bigger ones, the ones that look old. If you're unsure, just cut them down, count the rings, and yeah, that way you can verify it. So this Buddha temple is about 800 metres off the main road. The road end's really poor. It's all rocky, corrugated. Just go slow. The road end's not great, but once you're here, this is very relaxing. Even the waterfalls this morning, I'd say this is more peaceful than them. Nice and quiet, big old rainforest. It's untouched, really old trees. Definitely worth a stop, this one. There is a lot of insects though, so if you're bothered by that, bring some sort of repellent. So this is the cave, but not going to go exploring. This one has CO2 deficiency once you go down, so very dangerous. People have been hospitalised before. A few more cars pulling up now. I'm starting to recognise the people from the coffee plantation. So they've obviously finished their lunch and they're heading out this way towards Tad Lo. So I might even head into Tad Lo just to get my accommodation and get rid of the bag off the back of the bike, and there's 3 waterfalls to check out near Tad Lo.
Tad Lo is only about another 15 minutes out of the Wat Phou Big Buddha Forest Temple. you do need to cross the bridge and get on the east side of the river. The large majority of accommodation options are on the east side of the river, inside the village. There is also Fundy Island on the west side. Both sides of the river have access to Tad Hang waterfall. From Tad Hang you can walk to Tad Low, although you can also ride.
I went to Bolaven Garden, Tad Low first. Unfortunately, they were full. Then I went to Palamai guest house, and the only rooms left were the shared rooms, like shared bathroom, shared toilet, which is annoying, but I didn't want to keep looking, so I took it, 150,000. All their private rooms were taken. Anyway, that'll do for one night. So that's Tad Low Resort. I parked the motorbike there. From that parking spot, I'll walk to Tad Low, but first I'm just going to check out Tad Hang waterfall. So we've got 3 waterfalls to check out still for today. Tad Hang, Tad Low and Tad Gneuang. Now Tad Low and Tad Hang can be accessed from the other side of the river as well. It just means you cut in before you go over the bridge around to get into town. So there is a different access point. I have heard that this side is better, the side that the town is on. If you were staying, for example, at Fundy Islands, which was another accommodation I was considering, then you can still access Tad Hang and Tad Low waterfalls. All right guys, so up the 3 waterfalls in this area. This is Tad Hang, probably a little bit rough for swimming unless you want to go in the shallow rock pools here, but very wide, reasonably impressive. And you just go to Tad Low Lodge and you walk down. You can hop across all these rocks and the little pallets that they set up. You might get your feet a little bit wet, but yeah, Tad Hang waterfall. It's only a couple hundred meters away from Tad Low, which is what we're going to check out next.
You can walk from Tad Hang to Tad Low, but because of the time restraints, I didn't want to walk there, then walk back to get my scooter to drive out to Tad Gneuang later, so I ended up riding straight to Tad Low.
So this is Tad Low. I started the walk from Tad Hang to Tad Low and I decided to give up. Let's bring the scooter around. There is more scooter parking here. Nobody at any of these places today has asked me for scooter parking fees. So as far as I'm aware, so far everywhere that we've gone has had free scooter parking. I thought this one would have paid parking. As far as I know, it doesn't. Now there's a few different viewpoints of Tad Low. We're just going down to the lower one now. And I'm going to spend a fair bit of time here taking photos. So still got Tad Gneuang to check out tonight. I don't like my chances of getting anywhere for a swim. So this viewpoint's really good. There's also a suspension bridge about 50 metres back downstream. Can't access it at the moment, it's all locked off. You've got to get tickets and harness up.
Tad Low was a real highlight of the day. I loved the way that the whole community was out at the waterfall, running across the top of the waterfall, jumping in, or even bathing in the river above.
Alright guys, that's Tad Falls. I need to shoot off soon to check out Tad Gneuang if I'm going to do it today, otherwise I probably won't do it at all.
Riding out to Tad Soung, again it's important not to follow Google Maps directions. You have to cross the river again and do a big loop out to this road shown here. Not sure I fully understand the signs, but I think 50 metres this way is a lookout, but then there's something else 850 metres away. So I'm going to go to this 50 metre lookout. Spent way too much time, especially at Tad Hang, setting up photos and stuff like that with slow shutter speeds and jumping across the rocks. I haven't actually had any time to have fun myself, and Tad Low would have been an awesome one to do some of those jumps into the water, but ran out of time. I forget what number waterfall this is, but I might keep a running counter on the video. But this is Tad Gneuang. It's 10,000 kip to park your motorbike, and that's it. This is that lookout point. Pretty sure that tiny little bit of water over there is the current waterfall in dry season. Okay, so given that that is the waterfall, currently in the dry season, we are in early Feb. It's like a slow trickle over the falls. I'm gonna see if I can get on top of the falls, but I'm not gonna walk around to the base or the bottom of the falls because it might be a good view from the top, but from the bottom, it's just a big cliff face. Seen plenty of those. Alright guys, this is Tad Gneuang waterfall. This is the last one of the day. Dry season, not much water flow, but it's one of the more striking scenes you'll get on this whole entire loop. It probably looks better on the drone than what you'll see in person, but because of the overhang in that, it's quite a striking and dramatic little cliff face, so definitely worth checking out. It's the last one for today. The sun's setting now. I've got to head back in to get dinner. That's Pakse Loop, day 1 complete. I think tomorrow's going to be a bit more relaxing. I left a bit later than I normally do today in the morning, so I slept in a little bit, so I was a bit rushed, but even then I was leaving at 7 o'clock, so yeah, day 1, there's heaps to do. Most people don't do Tad Champee, and some people don't do Pass Swim in the morning either, so you have a lot of time to hang out at Tad Low. Because I was trying to show you every waterfall, I was a bit rushed for time, so yeah, that's it for day 1, and I'll see you on day 2. Day 2 on the Pakse Loop. I left quite early from Tad Low village, heading towards a coffee resort. G'day guys, we're on day 2 now of the Pakse Loop, and this is the day that diverges between the big loop and the small loop. So where I am now is just past, or just in That Tang, and this is part of the small loop as well. From here we'll head east, whereas the small loop would head south towards the Four Sisters area where most of the waterfalls are. This is a Chinook coffee resort. It is extremely peaceful, and yeah, I left early-ish this morning just to come here and grab breakfast because it knocks 40 minutes off the ride. There's a more direct route to where we're going, which is heading towards Tad Faek waterfall, but we're going to take a scenic loop road. A bit more riding today, but less waterfalls. I think there's only about 3 to look at today, but if I get to my accommodation in Hawaii Kong early, then I will even possibly be able to check out some from what I had written down as tomorrow's list of waterfalls. Yeah, okay. I think our coffee's ready. It's actually not that expensive for how nice a place this is. Alright guys, so if you're looking for this on Google Maps, it's just called Extra Loop. It's pretty easy to spot. It's the loop road. Instead of going the main road and heading east on the big loop, you'll just do this one. It eventually joins up with the main road again. You can do this doing the small loop, you know, just a left-hand turn and an extra loop on top of your small loop, and then you head south again. Okay, so we're on that scenic loop. We're about 2/3 of the way through. Just about to turn north back towards the main road. I'd say it's pleasant and relaxing more than it is like spectacular. I think the bit that we do now up towards the main road goes either through or around a mountain over here, so that might be a nice little bit to look at. The viewpoints are good along here. It's not going to match something like the Tad Faek loop, but yeah, this is quite scenic. It is starting to warm up. Jacket came off, but it still gets a little bit cold when you're riding through the valleys and the trees and that. Anyway, we'll continue on to the main road. Now, after we join the main road, it's a bit of a slog. It's not that far really, but some people might consider it far. Gonna head out towards Sekong and just try and enjoy the ride. I don't think it's gonna be anything spectacular to show you, but if I see anything interesting along the way, I'll show you that as well. For people doing the big loop, day 2 is the one with the most kilometres. We started in Tad Loy, went down to Chinook Coffee Guest House, around the loop. Now we're heading out towards Tad Faek through the town of Sekong. After that, the final destination is Ban Hawaii Kong, where we'll be staying. This is not too far from the waterfalls we want to visit tomorrow in Tad Tayicseua and Tad Khou. From the point where the loop joins the main road, you have about 50 minutes of riding to get to Tad Faek. Alright guys, this is Tad Faek, just gone past 11. Gonna head on down for a look and maybe chuck some boardies on, see if it's any good for a swim. All right, so this is Tad Faek Falls. There's a few different fronts to the waterfall, or it's one long one, however you want to consider it, but it's quite wide.
And there's 2 or 3 different sort of pools that you can swim in as well. As far as I'm aware, again, it's free entry. So Pakse Loop has certainly proven to be cheaper than the Tad Faek Loop, as in all these waterfalls have been free. I think I paid 10,000 kip for parking at one of them, and that was it. Everywhere else, nobody's asked me for anything. It looks like there is a restaurant and even light accommodation here as well. So yeah, this is Tad Faek Falls. I'll show you the rest of it.
The next waterfall is only about a 5-minute ride away.
That was Tad Faek. I was having fun until I sent the drone up and crashed it. I did find it. I spent about an hour and a half throwing sticks and rocks at it. Could not get it to budge. Oh well. This is the second waterfall of the day and the second last, because we're only checking out 3 today. The last one is more of a viewpoint at Tad Gneuang. I crashed the drone at Tad Faek. It is stuck in a tree. I found it. I had to walk about 150 metres. I had to cross the river. Tried to throw sticks at it. They're all termite damage. They just splinter as soon as you try and throw them. Drone is still up in a tree at Tad Faek, and it probably will be for a long time. I don't really care about the drone. I mean, I do a little bit, but I want the SD card more than anything. That is annoying. Not having the drone for the last 3 or 4 days of my trip will suck, especially for 2 waterfalls I did want to send the drone to, which I won't be able to do anymore. So let's check out Tad Gneuang, and then we'll check out one more waterfall today, and then I've got to go find accommodation and try and relax a little bit. Hopefully not be as rushed as yesterday, where I didn't really get back to my accommodation until 6:30. All right guys, this is Tad Gneuang, second waterfall for today out of 3. I was actually hoping to do a couple more. We'll see how we go for time. I've just wasted 2 hours trying to get my drone out of a tree, and unsuccessfully as well, I might add. It is what it is. This is Tad Gneuang, nice wide face, plenty of gentle spots for the swimming. I'm not going to stick around too long because I want to get a move on, so I'm not going to go rock hopping and exploring at this one. And then I'm going to head into Gneuang, look for some accommodation. I want to make sure I get a private room accommodation tonight. It's already 2 o'clock and I've got 10 past 2, quarter past 2, still got 45 minutes drive plus 1 waterfall stop. So still not going to have a very relaxed day, but I'm hoping for it to be more relaxed than yesterday. So Tad Gneuang, waterfall, worth a stop. The same sort of area as the last one that we're at, which is Tad Faek. It's only about 4-minute drive away.
After waving goodbye to my friends, it was time to hit the road. We're heading to Tad Gneuang. The roads themselves were quite good, and the scenery started to get really good as well as we turn to the west, head back towards Pakse. Although the roads are mostly good, this one stretch of road had a portion that was quite bad, which is not like the rest of the Pakse Loop.
Ever since we turned right through that town, we've had some of the best views of the whole entire loop. The best roads, or they should be, as far as views go, but it's been the worst road conditions of the whole loop by far. It's not even close. Pieces like that bit behind me, just heaps of potholes, washed out bits, slow going. And this little bit here, hopefully it gets better as we get towards the main area near Pakse.
This forked tree marks the turn-off to the Tad Gneuang viewpoint. It's normally on your left-hand side, It's on my right here because I missed it and had to do a U-turn.
Oh guys, so it looks like this little, what looks almost like a rubbish tip, is the marker for Tad Tayicseua. It's got a few different names. There's no actual sign off the main road and you can't actually get to it. This just goes to a viewpoint. If you had a drone, then you'd be able to get a decent view of it. I had a drone once. Fuck, that is impressive. I really wish I had a drone.
Back on the road again. We're really close to Hoi Kong now. It's only about 15 minutes and the road conditions are really good.
So I just pulled into Platinum Guest House. I just took the first one that I come across out of the two that I was going to choose. The other one, if you're interested, or this one's not got any room, is Tita Guest House. They're the two in Hoi Kong that are the most recommended. Platinum also has this fenced area for locking up your scooters at night, which is always handy. I'm all checked in. I just saw a coffee shop on the way in. I'm just going to go check it out, and that might cheer me up a little bit. If you are early today, there are waterfalls you can check out. Saves us doing some tomorrow. We have about 7 or 8 to look at tomorrow. For instance, the day after that, we only need to drive about 35 minutes to the next town, which is Pakse. Not too much driving tomorrow, but a lot of waterfalls to visit. If the coffee's good and motivates me, I'll go check out a couple of waterfalls today. It makes tomorrow a bit easier.
I don't know how, but I seem to have fluked the only good coffee place in town. This place is on your right, about 1 kilometre before you get to Platinum Guest House, and it's the only place I found during my stay here that actually had good coffee. After the coffee, I felt a little bit more motivated, so I decided to head out and try visit Tad Khou and Tad Gneuang waterfalls.
The road to get here is absolute dog shit. Coffee gave me a little bit of energy, so I'm going to check out Tad Khou and then, time permitting, Tad Gneuang as well. I don't really want to do this road again. It does loop around to some of the waterfalls that we're viewing tomorrow, so if I can get both done, I can try the other end of the loop, see if it's any better. We'll check out Tad Khou quickly. Alright guys, this is Tad Khou, 20,000 entry. That includes your scooter parking and entry to the falls. It's a bit touristy, like it's all built up, but if they were all like this, it would be a bad thing. But because we've seen so many raw natural waterfalls, seeing one like this every now and then doesn't bother me too much. We'll have a look around. Might be an hour till sunset, not a whole lot of time. It's definitely getting a bit darker. There's like a haze in the air, almost like a burning season sort of haze, but I don't think it is smog. I think it's just the weather. Actually quite impressive. So ready? I gotta admit, this is actually pretty nice. I think just because of the weather, how cool it is right now. In fact, no one else is here. Stuff that I'm standing on now, like this floating bungalow style thing, I don't mind because it's giving you a viewpoint that you wouldn't have otherwise had unless you had a raft or something. But then it's taken away by the little shelters over there that you can sit in the water. So give and take, I guess. Some upside, downside, left side, right side, strong side. There's a bit of rope in the water. I'll show you that. That's water rope. Not many travel channels will show you stuff like that. Okay guys, so that is Tad Khou waterfalls. That's a wrap for day 2 of the Pakse Loop. And what do you think? How did you rate the waterfalls today? Because this is basically the differentiator between the big loop and the small loop. The waterfalls that we'll do tomorrow are also a differentiation on the big loop and the small loop. So this is Tad Khou waterfalls. Try and get to Tad Tayicseua, although the sun is setting. I don't like my chances. So today, not the best day for me personally. Losing the drone, losing all that footage, but hopefully tomorrow goes a bit better. I said I was leaving about 15 minutes ago, but because there's no one here, it's a good chance to take some photos. It's nice lighting with the sun setting. Now I really am going. I really am going.
Ever since you came into my life, it felt so good.
Alright guys, so it's been a very slow start today. It's 10 past 8 already. Haven't visited a single waterfall. Today we're going to be checking out possibly up to about 7 waterfalls, and this is all around the Tad Tayicseua, which is kind of the name of the location. But there are a few different falls that you can check out. There are 2 or 3 real highlight ones and then a couple of small ones. Plus we've got Tad Tayicseua. So very waterfall heavy area here, just to the east of where I'm staying basically. And we'll head off to Pakse today, which leaves us with 4 waterfalls on the final day as we head back to Pakse. The waterfalls that we visit today are located down here in the Tad Tayicseua area. There are other waterfalls nearby, including Tad Khou and Tad Tayicseua. The Tad Tayicseua area is a strong concentration of waterfalls along a series of rivers. This area is constantly being built out and more waterfalls added as time goes on. Where we are now is hour 20 down to Pakse, especially more so with tomorrow's waterfalls, but there is a chance that they start to get a little bit busier along this southern stretch of the Bolaven Plateau. So it's quite a lot of walking today, quite a lot of stairs. I had breakfast, there's a few banh mi stalls and stuff like that, and yeah, I'll get a coffee in and then we'll head down past Tad Tayicseua first. So I'm back on that road that I didn't like yesterday, but apparently it's better than the other one that goes through Tad Tayicseua, which I'll take on the way out just to see how bad it is. It is a loop with 2 roads. You can get from one to the other. Back down that road to Tad Tayicseua to start with, and then we'll head to the bigger waterfalls once the sun's up a little bit. Fuck this road. I thought we'd never make it.
Ever since you came into my life, it felt so good, it felt so right. You bring the sun on cloudy days, all the birds sing your praise.
So we've made it to Tad Tayicseua, 9:15. I do want to get to the other one, so I just wasn't sure what time Tad Tayicseua would even open, so I didn't want to get there too early and wait, but it'll definitely be open by the time I get there. It'll be past 9 o'clock, so we'll have no dramas getting in. Anyway, let's check out Tad Tayicseua just quickly.
I love you so. I love you so. Don't you know, don't you know, no, no, don't you know, don't you know, don't you know, no, no, that I love you so.
Alright guys, that's Tad Tayicseua. Yeah, when I said quick visit, I meant it. You could go for a swim there, but you'd probably get wet. Alright, so now after this, we're going to head off to the main area of waterfalls, and you can't ride to each one. You basically park at the parking lot and you walk to each one. So there's going to be a lot of steps. You're going to have to make sure you're quite hydrated.
There are 2 ways to get to Tad Tayicseua off the main road. There is a loop road that goes south through Tad Khou and Tad Tayicseua and also heads back to Tad Tayicseua. Although this road is not great, it's actually a better option than taking the road closer to Tad Tayicseua further east.
Got here at 9:20. I thought there would be a few cars in the car park, maybe a few scooters, people doing day trips in Pakse, but there's literally no one there. So it looks like it's just me. Yeah, let's check out the waterfalls. No idea which order I'm doing them in yet. So we'll just see. I'll let you know when I find out. That's good vlogging. think that's Kiet Oak Waterfall. So I'm going to head down to Kiet Oak Waterfalls at the end on the way out. I'm going to start, maybe try and do it clockwise.
After a short walk to the central area, you have some restaurant options, toilets and a shop. I will reference this mud map in the future and compare it to some of the research that I had done previously from blog posts online. My plans to start the day were pretty loose because I wasn't sure how long anything would take. I wanted to head off towards Halang Falls and then continue along the river in a clockwise direction and just see how I went for time. Along the path to Halang Falls, I did see a little offshoot track. I decided to follow it down to the river to see what it was.
This waterfall, it's not even on the main map. It's just a small little, I saw a path coming down from the main path. I thought I'd check it out. The first waterfall, as we go around clockwise, should be Halang Falls. This isn't really one of them. Just thought I'd show you anyway. I'm going to try the main path again, try and find the main falls. First waterfall on our little loop will be Halang Falls, which comes up on the maps as Tad Tayicseua Halang. So we've got a nice set of steps here to head down, which is good. A bit sweaty, but I've got like 2.5 litres of water on me, so I can't wait to drink it because then the backpack gets lighter. Doesn't sound very powerful. Sounds like a bit of a trickle here during the dry season, but I'll head down to the bottom and see if it gets any more impressive. Alright guys, so Tad Tayicseua Halang. Didn't take me too long to get here, but it is very steep. Now this one is one of the more famous ones on the site, because given the right conditions and the sun position, you'll get a rainbow in the mist of the spray. So waterfall number 1 for today of this area. Obviously we saw Tad Tayicseua, I'm not even counting that small one that I walked down before. This is Tad Tayicseua Halang. That's what you'll see on the maps. On the signpost here now, it's just called Halang Falls. It's impressive, it's nice. I like the curvature of the rock and the open face. It would be more impressive in the wet season, obviously, but the stairs down here, where it turns to mud compact stairs, would be a bit more of a pain. Coming here at the start of the dry season, I think would be the best bet. After a period of no rain where everything's dried out, but the water's still flowing strong, that would be the way to go. So looking at that little mud map that we saw at the entrance, they have opened up trails to a lot more waterfalls than there were before. Originally, there were only about 4 waterfalls in this area. It seems like there's access to a lot more now. So I'm just going to do the trail clockwise. I might not get to all of them because I wasn't planning on it at the start. There were a couple like the rainy season waterfalls, the Yarriam waterfalls, and the Mast waterfalls. They never appeared in my original planning. I never had plans to go to them. I believe they are quite new, and since they're a little bit further away, I'm not going to get to those ones today. So, Tad Tayicseua Halang, done. Now I'm going to head back up here, follow that path. If I'm reading the map correctly, we don't have any steps back up. We should be walking along the river. I'm sure there'll be steps, otherwise it wouldn't be a waterfall. Has to be a change in elevation somewhere, but I think we're just walking along the river for a little bit. This would be a nightmare in the wet season. Paths like this. Doesn't feel like they really want you to go this way. I'm a little bit confused now. So this is Little B Waterfall. This was not even on my list of waterfalls for today. Looks like a newly cut in track. To be honest, it looks like it's not quite finished. When I was crawling down through there's all this bamboo overgrown over the track. Yeah, there's all this bamboo over the trail, but there are some stairs coming down. It's kind of confusing, but this is the right way to go because the map shows us on this side of the river, past Little B, and then crossing a wooden bridge. So yeah, Little B, it's only about 5 minutes walk from Halang waterfall. You can't really get down to the pool of the water on this side. You might be able to on the other side of the river. Didn't realise there was a height restriction on this ride. Don't tell anyone, but I'm 130 centimetres for the next 4 seconds. Talalua waterfall must be the unmarked one where it's got that on the mud map. It says camping on the waterfall or camping on the rocks or something like that. So it has to be that one. There's no other waterfall as far as I'm aware. This is Tad Tayicseua. Although it's not on that mud map anymore, it is showing me that on maps.me. They've just taken the name off and written something about camping on the rocks. So this is a small one, wide face, lots of shallows here. If you wanted to paddle, I guess, not very deep for swimming. If you want to get to where I am now, amongst all the rocks and that, I'd recommend having long sleeve and long pants because it feels like an unused trail. I was basically bush bashing myself through the jungle just to get out here. Otherwise, you just jump in the water at a different spot and swim down here. There is a path. It looks like it hasn't been used in a long time, but you can tell that there is a path there, so to speak. So now we just head back up to that wooden bridge and we cross it and we continue on in a clockwise direction. So yeah, let's go have a look at the other side of the trail.
Would your arms surround me? If we stay here like this is the only
I thought we'd have to come around here. Maybe there'll be a path up, but it looks like just a sheer cliff face. So the mud map is showing you across the wooden bridge and chuck a right at an intersecting path. It must be back closer to the bridge. So I'm gonna go back to the wooden bridge, try to find that right. Yeah, if you come this far along the rocks, you've come too far. So the path's pretty hard to spot. Oh, there might be another one, but after I cross that wobbly log bridge, just chuck a right and see, kind of look up. It looks like there's a little bit thinner bit of jungle, which is the path that we're on down here. I didn't go all the way back to the wooden bridge. I just went up here because I saw it. It looks like it's going to join. So, bullet holes. They are from the Vietnam War. It's just remnants of that stuff everywhere.
let me stay.
Jesus Christ, this is steep. Almost impossible if it was actually raining or had recently rained. It's just leaf litter and mud clay. It's very steep.
The camera definitely doesn't do it justice, but this trail just keeps on elevating and elevating up through the jungle.
It's not signposted at all that this is the way up. No distance markers telling you how far to go. But it's clearly a pathway. There's built-in steps and stuff along. Alright, I'm back at the top now with all the signs to the different falls. The signs to the waterfalls that we were doing are all broken off. Yeah, that was torturous. So as I climbed up, I came up to an intersection before this one where I am now that tees off straight back down the hill towards the Medterranean Falls, whatever it's called. And then from there, you can walk a trail around to Kid Oak. But I decided to just keep coming up the trail. I'm gonna go get something to eat to get more energy. Then I'm gonna go down the stairs to Kid Oak, do the trail back to the one we just walked past, and then decide whether I want to go up the hill or back up the stairs. Either way, it doesn't really matter. That was a nightmare.
As long as we go.
Luckily, the restaurant has quite decent servings, fantastic views with a nice breeze. After lunch and a coffee, I decided to head down towards Kiet Oak Waterfalls.
Okay, so now I'm taking the stairs down to Kiet Oak Falls. From there should be a junction that goes to Mandarin Falls. I think this way is going to be easier because we've got proper stairs. So when we get back up to the top, there are two other waterfalls, Above Waterfalls and Eagle Falls. I never knew about Above Falls before getting here and seeing the map map. I had seen Eagle Falls just because it was on the Google Maps. So I'm probably going to go to Eagle Falls, even though it's further. I'm hoping it's a nice flat walk, but I'll decide on that depending how much time we spend at these two. So this is Kiet Oak. I don't think it's as steep a climb down as Halang Falls was, but it's very steep. It's almost a ladder, so going back up is the bit that's going to be painful. Yeah, this is one of the main two falls. I'd say the main ones are this one, and Halang is probably the main one that's on all the pictures and postcards and stuff, but this would be the second one. This one has more water flow. I'll see if I can get a little bit closer. The lookouts are quite far away, blocked by the trees. I'll see how close I can get without climbing over the wet rock. Now this is Kiet Oak Waterfall. This, I think, is what a lot of people confuse with Tad Tayicseua, but Tad Tayicseua is just the area. So this is one of the main waterfalls, the heaviest one. The other one, which is the one that's shown in all the photos, is Halang Falls, which is the first one we saw today. There's no real swimming pool here or rock pool. It just flows downriver, but lots of shallows and boulders here. Despite the heavy water flow, no real swimming area here. I'm going to shoot off now to Tad Gneuang, which is probably the last of the main ones around this area. If I have time, I'll head off to Eagle Falls as well. You can tell it's a waterfall because how the water starts up the top but finishes down at the bottom. The river's going downhill, so I'm hoping we don't have to go up too high. The river's always go downhill, but what I mean is the next waterfall is downstream. So fuck it, we'll see. None of this feels particularly safe, but it's doing the job for now. This is another unnamed, just a small waterfall. Not the one we're looking for, about halfway there. Just little bonus waterfalls everywhere, but the main ones have names. This one, no name.
As you cross this bridge, you are standing on top of Mandarin Falls. However, as it's quite a big waterfall, there are a number of ladders you have to climb down to get to the base of the falls. These ladders are not the safest, but it's all in good fun.
This is Mandarin Waterfall. This is the last of the main ones in the main area. The only other one I wanted to get to is Eagle Falls. Not sure. 10 to 2 now. I've still got to do the trail all the way back. I've still got to do that shitty dirt road back to the main road, go to my accommodation, get my big bag, tie it on, drive to Pak Song, find accommodation, I know it's 10 to 2 now, but all this shit just adds up. Mandarin Falls. I love the way it splits around this little island rock in the middle here. I call them island rocks, you call them whatever you want. It's heavy, it's noisy, it's not a good one for swimming. The rocks this way are all mulch, slippery. I'm not going to try and get around in front of the waterfall. One, I can't be bothered. I almost stacked it just standing there. And two, time constraints. What do you think of the falls so far? Which one's your favourite? Leave a comment down below. No, I don't care. I don't care what you think. This one's really noisy, which makes it the best. Because being noisy is what being a waterfall is all about. This little path between Kit Ork and Mandurah, I am really enjoying. I thought I would not like it, but it's all covered in shade. There's like little ups and downs, but it's not hectic like that one out of Palalaway.
Although the path along the river is awesome, once you get to the stairs, it does start to hurt. I couldn't even be bothered speaking to the camera.
Okay, so I'm back at the car park. I just spoke to the guy at the office and he said Eagle Falls, I can ride my bike there. And he said once you get as far as you can on the bike, it's not far.
Once you get back to the car park and get on your bike, the turn off to Eagle Falls is only about 1 minute away.
So you can ride to Eagle Falls. Just near where your ticket counter is, there's a sign. 400 metres to the car park. If you did want to walk, at least it's all flat, that 400 metres. Now we just come down to Eagle Falls. It's probably only 20 metres down.
Let me stay. Would your arms around me? If we stay here like this is the only.
This is a jumping platform. I'm not going to be jumping. I can't be bothered swimming in there to see how deep it is because I'm not sure if you have to use the swing to get out to a deep spot or if it's actually deep enough if you just jump off the platform. So this is Eagle Waterfalls. This is probably one of the best ones we've had for swimming purposes. I am going to reward myself with a swim. I think I've earned it. I've sweated. I've drunk about 3 or 4 litres of water today as we've been hiking around. This is probably one of the best ones. There's no one here. I understand the other ones are taller, more noisy, which is what being a waterfall is all about. But for swimming and a day entertainment area, this is by far the best. Now, the Tad Tayicseua area was nowhere near as busy as I thought it would be. Because we're getting closer to Pakse, I thought there would be more day trippers. Maybe a lot of people aren't doing the big loop and they're just doing the small loop. It would be nice to have someone else here just to operate the swing or something, but it's just a ghost town. This whole thing, however many waterfalls, 55,000 kip, that is a full day's worth of exploring. It's 2:45. I haven't even gone for a swim yet, so I don't recommend you do what I do in trying to get to all the waterfalls unless you like your photography or you enjoy trekking through the jungle, and then you might get some enjoyment out of that. I'm obviously trying to document stuff, so I just wanted to, that was my objective. But if I was just coming to see them for a quick few photos, I'd go to Kit Ork and Halang Falls. They're the two main ones. They're the ones I'd go to. I'd come here to Eagle Waterfalls actually for a swim, and then I'd shoot off and continue the loop. Now that's day 3 of the Pakse Loop. A very busy one for me. For you, it probably won't be as busy because you can just pick the best of the bunch. So I'm nowhere near done with today. I might show you a little bit of Pak Song on the drive if there's anything interesting, but realistically that's it for day 3 of the Pakse Loop.
After giving myself a once over for Down syndrome, I was finally able to enjoy the water.
Would your arms around me? If we stay here like this is the only place where I
So the GoPro doesn't often show the depth of ruts and stuff very well because it's such a wide angle. But this road, in the wet season, don't bother. Go to the loop around the west, past Tad Tayicseua and Tad Gneuang. I just wanted to see what it was like. But even in the dry season, you might be better off going west and then past Tad Tayicseua north onto the main road. Dry season, probably go the other way. Coming up's fine. Wet season, don't even bother coming this direct route. Go past Tad Tayicseua.
Riding into Halang to get my bags and then heading off to Pakse. We had some cloud cover in the afternoon, which made for some of the most scenic riding I'd had on the entire loop.
Alright, so just staying at Siri Guest House. Just gonna go fill up the scooter for tomorrow and try to find some dinner in Pakse. Anyway, that's today done.
Take a step. You don't have to wait.
G'day guys, this is the last day on the Pakse Loop today. So basically we head from Pakse to Pakse and that completes the loop because the loop is beginning and ending in the same place. Interesting fact. The ride itself is not a long ride today, but there are 4 waterfalls to check out known as the Four Sisters area.
What we're visiting today is an area called the Four Sisters area. This makes up the last day of both the small loop and the bigger loop. Both of these loops will visit this set of waterfalls. You can see at the bottom of this mud map there is a blown up portion of the Four Sisters area. This is a popular day trip visit from Pakse as well, as it is only about 40 minutes ride away. These waterfalls can be found just to the west of Pakse, where we spent the night. There are 2 to the north of the road and 2 to the south.
So we have Tad Gneuang, spelled with a GN, obviously. Then we have Tad Faek, which is probably one of the more famous ones on the loop. It's a twin waterfall, 2 rivers meet, falls down. Now the views there apparently aren't the best, so we'll go around, we'll have a look and we'll check it out anyway, see what we can see. So those 2 are on the south side of the road, and on the north side of the road we have Tad Champee and Tad Tayicseua. I don't know which order I'm going to do them in yet. I was just going to head out that way, that general direction, and see. I do have to loop back to grab my big bag before heading on to Pakse to complete the loop. So normally that would be the Pakse loop complete. I'm doing an extra activity as well. I've got a few days left before my flight. So I am going to ride out through Pakse and then I'm going to head off to Champasak just to visit Wat Phou Temple, which is an old ancient Khmer ruin. Same empire that built Angkor Wat, but it is actually 200 years older than Angkor Wat. It's not technically part of the loop, but I'll show you that as well. I've got a clean shirt on. I'm hoping for no dusty roads today. It was quite chilly this morning and there was a mist hanging around, but it looks like it's starting to burn off, so we should get some good weather hopefully. So this is Le Douceur on the main road, nice and peaceful, and has great reviews, 4.9 stars at the time of my visit. Yeah, if you want to stop in for breakfast somewhere, I think they open at 7, and you can stop in for a feed before you head out and do all those stairs.
Stay on the road. Stay on the road. You're working time. Stay on the road.
So I've decided to start at Tad Faek because it is the weekend. Today's a Saturday, so getting this one done early before the crowds is a good way to go. I think this opens at 8. I got here about 8:30, there's no one here. So it's 20,000 to park the scooter and 65,000 to enter this sort of resort area. It's nice and peaceful here at the moment. Obviously, I'm the only person here. So it's just the birds and these nice sort of palm trees or whatever they are. They're definitely trees. I just don't know if they're palm trees. There is a zip line here, but it looks like I won't be doing it. No one's really pressed me about it.
Close your eyes. Get some rest. I'm by your side.
So this is it. This is Tad Faek. This is the viewing platform. As far as I'm concerned, not worth
visiting, not worth it at all. Depends how much you've been through Southeast Asia. Like, you can't get to the falls, you can't do anything. To pay $85,000 to park your scooter and enter for this, I personally wouldn't bother. If you've seen other waterfalls in the Philippines where you can go canyoning and have more fun, like, it looks nice because there's 2 waterfalls, but it's not a must-do activity in my opinion. And this doesn't look the tiniest bit safe. No edge protection for kids and stuff, so I'll have a walk around, see if there's another viewpoint, but I don't know. If this is it, it's pretty underwhelming.
Calm your soul. Hold my hand. Don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts. It wasn't fair. It's over now, so don't despair. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies wait till
Alright guys, that's Tad Faek waterfall. All in all, pretty disappointing.
For those that are interested, here are the prices in US dollars for the different zipline tour packages on offer. After this, I headed off to the next waterfall. I was going to go to Tad Gneuang, but then I ended up going to Tad Tayicseua just because logistically it made more sense. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a small right hand turn onto a gravel road which heads out towards Tad Tayicseua.
So slight change of plans. The 4 waterfalls we do today, do in whatever order you want that suits you, but I'm heading to Tad Tayicseua now, and instead of going back to Tad Gneuang and then out to Tad Tayicseua and then to Tad Champee, this just makes it more of a loop from me, from Pakse back to Pakse to get my bags back to Pakse. So this is Tayicseua waterfall, basically surrounded by an abandoned resort. It's 20,000 kip. A guy will come out and take 20,000 kip off you. I don't think he really has any authority or anything, but if it helps him look after the scooter or whatever, I think he's just living in one of the abandoned buildings. 20,000 kip's nothing, no drama as far as I'm concerned. So waterfall number 2 for today is Tayicseua waterfall. Get a glimpse of it as you walk down here. Looks pretty impressive. The flow is quite strong and it's noisy, which is the most important thing. I'm gonna put the camera away, try and navigate my way towards the falls now. This might be slippery. So this is the dry season. This is very early Feb, and yeah, the water flow's strong and this path is mud. Can't imagine doing this in the wet season. You'd need gumboots to get out here. Or you'd be underwater, I'm not sure. Even standing where I am now, probably 50 metres away from the waterfall, still getting that spray come across here. So I'm gonna try to get some photos while the lens is clean-ish, and then we'll move in closer. So this probably doesn't come up on pictures as well as Tad Faek, for example, but it's a much better experience than whatever the hell that was over at Tad Faek. It's just more up close and personal. All right, guys, so this is Tad Tayicseua. Little staircase down, concrete stairs the whole way. Would be slippery as hell in rainy season. It's all mossy and leafy and that, but in the dry season, not too bad. If you had clean shoes when you started and you want to come out here, you're not going to have clean shoes at the end of it, so don't wear nice shoes. The falls themselves, very impressive. I like the curvature of the rock. It's a little bit like Halang Falls that we saw yesterday in the Tad Tayicseua area, but with more water flow, albeit not as high. I don't know, that might be 30, 40 metres high. It's pretty cool. There's two little levels, two cascades down. Decent amount of flow. The amount of spray coming this way for the dry season, it'll get you wet. So that's Tad Tayicseua, way better than Tad Faek in my opinion. Everything kind of looks like it was recently submerged. You can make a way through the mud where the grass roots are going. It's a little bit more sturdy. You can come for a swim if you want. It's fucking cold at the moment. Quite a powerful water flow as well, so it'd be a bit of a challenge to try and get all the way to the water. So we've got two more waterfalls to check out. I'm going to hit the road and try and get these done so I can head off to Pakse, where the loop would normally finish, but then on through there to Champasak.
Back on the road and only about 5 minutes away is Tad Champee waterfall. Although it is a dirt road, this road is nice and smooth all the way to the waterfall. At the top of the path to the waterfall is also a restaurant area. I did notice some heavy cloud build up as I was on my way down to the falls.
Take the step. You don't have to wait.
So just at Tad Champee now. It is a dirt road to get here for about 2.5k, but it's in really good condition. So this one is 30,000 entry and 5,000 for scooter parking, so 35 total. Thankfully, the walk down here is much more gradual than all the other waterfalls. It's a nice slope down this bank over here. It's not going to be completely exhausting on the way back up. So the one thing that differentiates Tad Champee is that it gives you a proper pathway through behind the water curtain. Some of the other waterfalls you can stand on the rocks under the water, but this one actually goes right behind the water curtain. So let's go check it out. This might be the noisiest of all the waterfalls that we've visited so far, which therefore makes it the best. Views are stunning. This overhang with the moss-covered rock, boulders, brilliant. Brilliant boulders, mossy rocks, average boulders as well, mossy boulders, brilliant rocks. And it's going to be pretty hard to beat this one, but scenery-wise, this is easily the best viewpoint that you can get with any of the waterfalls that I think we've done on the loop so far. This is Tad Champee, top 100, easy. Top 1,000 even. I've been here for well over an hour. Time to go, because I do want to get to Champasak tonight. Still got one more waterfall to check out and hopefully grab lunch somewhere. Yeah, the ride to Pakse from Pakse is about an hour, and then it's maybe another 50 minutes. So I've got about a 2-hour ride, but I really should get moving.
The last waterfall of the Four Sisters for me, the way that I did it, is Tad Gneuang waterfall, only about another 5 minutes away. All these waterfalls are really close to each other.
Stay on the road.
Alright guys, the last waterfall of the Pakse Loop, Bolaven Plateau Loop. This is Gneuang Falls, and all those minivans and scooters in the car park fills me with dread. It is going to be pretty packed. It's bang on lunchtime. So after Tad Champee, it actually started to rain. So I went and had lunch myself to avoid the rain. Went and got my big bags and then headed here. It's clear enough now. There's still some dark clouds around, but I think we should be alright to head down and see Tad Gneuang Falls. Hopefully not too many people down at the actual falls. Although Photoshop's pretty good, it's better to take a photo with nobody in the frame.
This little bridge gives you a view from the top of the falls, however there really isn't too much to see. What you really want is to head down these stairs to the base of the falls.
Alright guys, this is the last waterfall on the Pakse Loop, Tad Gneuang Falls. It's busy, but there is a little path here. You come around on the left-hand side to get away from the people. Very slippery. Most people aren't going to bother with this sort of stuff. You can also cross the river back at the main stairs down and go along to the other side. You might get your feet a little bit wet, but it's not that deep. There are a few rocks there to step on, but you might be safer just stepping through the water because you'll have better grip. So have I saved the best till last? Pretty damn close. This and Tad Champee, definitely two highlights just because of the way that you get to experience the falls. It's not always about the falls itself, but getting away from the crowd, going behind the waterfall, crawling through a little grotto like this, it just makes the whole thing better. I often wonder if every cool thing that people have ever found is just discovered by people trying to get away from other people. That's pretty much how I found this, was trying to get away from everyone else. I was up on the platforms trying to take photos, and then people come walking across the platform. The whole thing vibrates, it just ruins the photo. I just want to get away from everyone. Alright guys, that's it for the Pakse Loop. That's the Four Sisters. Now all we got left is a little ride back to Pakse itself. 45 minutes roughly from where we are, and that's the Pakse Loop done. I'm going to put some numbers up on the screen. It'll be my fuel usage, how much I spent in fuel, how many kilometres I rode, and all that sort of good stuff, just for those that are interested. Now, comparing it to the Tad Faek Loop, I personally preferred the Tad Faek Loop, but not by a wide margin. I think it's still worth doing both. I do think the Tad Faek Loop is
better. That's only because I think there's a bit more variety in the caves than there is in the waterfalls. Depends how many waterfalls and caves you've seen before. So I'm going to head off now to Champasak and check out Wat Phou Temple. This is just a little add-on that you can do to the Pakse Loop, but ordinarily isn't part of the Pakse Loop.
If you are doing the Pakse Loop and returning to Pakse, it's only about 30 to 40 minutes ride back into Pakse. Because I was heading further off to Champasak, I had about an hour and a half's worth of riding. The roads out back towards Pakse and then south to Champasak are in really good condition. If your scooter is capable, you can quite comfortably get up to 100 kilometers an hour due to the good condition of the roads.
You don't gotta change.
I entered Champasak at about 5 to 4, got into my accommodation and checked in by about 4:20. You can visit Wat Phou from Pakse, however because I wanted to visit at sunrise, it was easier for me to stay in Champasak nearby. It meant I didn't have to get up as early.
Won't you stay on the road? It'll work in time.
Just got into Champasak, checked into Don Khon River View. This is pretty flashy, I guess. It's not the highest end, but it is definitely a step above everything we've had recently on the Pakse Loop. Now, importantly, we've got a fridge. Gonna try to find some banh mi or some sort of fresh sort of roll to put in there so I can have it early in the morning. The whole reason we're in Champasak is I want to see Wat Phou. Now, I could go now, it closes at 6. That would only give me hour 20 there, but the whole idea of coming here and staying in Champasak is I actually want to go at sunrise, which means going before it's open and just paying on the way out. I'm going to spend the afternoon just trying to get myself sorted for tomorrow.
Stay on the road. Won't you stay on the road? It'll work in time. Stay on the road.
So I just spent the last remaining hours of sunlight. Instead of walking around Champasak, I'm checking out the Halang Temple, which is part of the Wat Phou Temple. It's a few K away, but you know, it was all built by the Khmer in between the 11th and 12th century. And this actually was the starting point of a road that used to connect the Wat Phou complex with the Angkor Wat complex. So quite a significant little piece. It's just like an offshoot from the main temple complex. There's no fee to come into this part. There's no tickets or anything, so you can just come and explore this part as you want. I kind of came this way just to scope out Wat Phou and see where I might be able to get in tomorrow before official opening time. So I didn't see anything good, which is worrying. So this is Hongnang Cedar, over 1,000 years old. Hindu temple. Crazy the stuff that is still around after all this time. Don't know why it's so far from Wat Phou. Pretty cool. Now that really is a wrap for today. I've got other stuff to do. I've got to sort out how I'm getting to Wat Phou at sunrise. I need to get water, I need to get food. I'm a busy man. So yeah, hopefully see you tomorrow. Bright and early, sunrise, Wat Phou Temple, somehow.
Stained with a loop. Stained with a loop. Stained with a loop.
G'day guys, it's about 7 o'clock here. I'm at the top of Wat Phou. This is Wat Phou itself, just behind me. Opening time is at 8 o'clock, so still got an hour before official opening time. I went to the actual car park. The boom gate was up on the exit side and I just rode in. This was all at about 5 a.m.
There were one or two people around just setting up the shops and stuff like that. Nobody said anything. I parked the scooter and I started walking. It was pitch black. I did have a head torch. It is an uneven walk. It is about 1 kilometre, and you've got to allow 20, 25 minutes to get up here as well, because you have 150, 200 steps to get up here. We are at quite an elevation, which I'll show you in a second. This is Wat Phou, facing east. We're on the elevated part at the moment. There's this nice staircase going down, and there's also the option, if you come during opening hours, to get an electric shuttle, which will save you that 1 kilometre walk and get you to the base of the stairs. Up here at the Wat Phou part, there is a number of different sites you can see. There's an elephant head, there is a crocodile rock, a Buddha footprint, there is the temple itself, there is a holy spring. I did not expect all these cows and goats and stuff to be up here, but it's been quite nice to have some company. So Wat Phou is a temple dating from about the 11th century. I think it is about 100 or 200 years older than Angkor Wat itself, built by the same Khmer Empire. So I'm just going to go for a walk around now, try and enjoy this top section before anyone else gets here, and then I'll start making my way down the stairs and I'll show you the rest of it. So far, these two trees are my favourite. I don't know what it is about them, they look cool. I wish all the other trees were gone and it's just those two trees. Very picturesque. Anyway, enough about the trees. So the first little site, I don't know what you call them, little landmark, is a spring, natural spring from the rock above us, and it is funneled down here. So I think this is another one of those landmarks, the Champee relief. It is the cycle of creation. I forget the name of the gods now, but there's Shiva, Vishnu and another one. One of them's a destroyer, well, creator, preserver, destroyer. So yeah, you know, circle of life sort of stuff. You know, that sort of stuff. So although the temple would have originally been Hindu, it was at some point transformed into a Buddhist place of worship. So it's like this mixture of Buddhist religious symbols as well as the old school sort of Hindu stuff. Buddha's footprint, obviously. Just because it's massive and in the side of a wall doesn't mean it's not a footprint. This one, if you want to find it, you're looking at Wat Phou. It's up on the hill to the right, whereas the cool spring's up on the hill to the left. So if you are looking for it, it's elevated. I don't know what to say about it. I am sceptical, to say the least. Just on the path now that goes towards the crocodile rock and the elephant sculpture rock, and you can start to see the awesome views now that we have from up here.
Cloud cover's keeping it cool, but it ruined the sunrise. And those two, I think they're called berets, but they're lakes basically. It's the Elephant Rock. It's pretty sad to see that people are riding on it. It looks nice, but if there's no historical context, if it was 1,000 years old, awesome. People probably shouldn't be riding on it, but the craftsmanship's more impressive being that old. So I think the last little thing to find up here is the Crocodile Rock, and then I'll start heading down the stairs. It's almost opening time, like officially opening time, and I'll try to get some photos of the other temples before all the tourists arrive. So here we are, Crocodile Rock. This is the last of the little things that you're supposed to sort of have a walk around and find up here. Yeah, it looks like they just pressed a crocodile into the rock. Bit of an odd-shaped crocodile, but it looks like a crocodile. I've pretty much walked this whole area and seen everything. So yeah, Wat Phou is the highlight, obviously. I'm gonna head down now, try and get some shots of the temples down below. It's just about 8 o'clock now, so the gates will be opening. Whether people come bang on 8 o'clock or not, I'm not sure, but I'll try and get down there before them. And also I'm starving since I've been up since 4:15.
If you are looking for any of the sites that we visited today, it is not a secret, there is a little mud map at the front of the complex at the top of Wat Phou. The complex of Wat Phou is a combination of Khmer architecture and Hindu religion. It is believed that this sanctuary existed in another form from as early as 500 or 600 AD. The spring that comes from the rocks is a likely reason for this sort of structure and sanctuary built up onto the hill. The terrace is made of sandstone blocks, and there is a causeway lined with sandstone posts which leads to a large terrace supporting two symmetrical buildings. Wat Phou is one of the most important ancient sites in Laos. It's often described as the country's smaller, quieter answer to Angkor Wat. The temple sits at the foot of the Phu Khao mountain, near the Mekong River in Champasak. Wat Phou wasn't just built as a single temple. The whole landscape was designed with meaning. The mountain, the spring, the processional walkway, the reservoirs or berets, and the temple buildings were all arranged along a sacred line from the mountain down towards the river.
Almost downstairs. I kept stopping for photos. I hope the video is properly showing how awesome these trees are, how they arch over the staircase and that. I like it. The trees might be my favourite bit.
Wat Phou began as a Hindu site, dedicated mainly to Shiva, long before this area became strongly Buddhist. Later, like many ancient temples in this region, it became an active Buddhist place of worship as well. The main ruins we see today are mostly from the Khmer period, when this part of southern Laos was connected to the wider Angkor world. UNESCO says the Champasak cultural landscape is over 1,000 years old. Walking up through the site, you pass the long causeway, the old palace-like structures, stone stairways, carvings, shrines, and finally the upper sanctuary. From the top, you also get one of the best views back across the plains towards the Mekong.
This is very nice. I'm glad I did this. I can see the first bunch of people just walking up now through the main sort of procession walk, and I've been up top for 2.5, 3 hours all to myself. Well, the cows as well and the goats. I should be able to quickly check out these two temples without anybody else, all in time for breakfast. So there's two temples, a north and a south one, and you are allowed inside, so I'm just going to go for a quick look through. Alright guys, I am spent. Time to go get a proper breakfast. I did have a bit of a chicken sandwich this morning. It's 8:48, so I've been here over 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Just behind us we've got some buildings under restoration, the south and north one, and then the staircase is just behind that. But I just wanted to point out over my left shoulder down there at the gate, there is another entry point. It's not an official entry point, but there is an entry point there. I think leaving the scooter there is probably not the best idea. You are supposed to pay for parking, and no one's going to be awake at that time. If you wanted to arrange it with them the day before, it would shorten your walk, but you still have to ride around anyway to pay. So as far as I'm concerned, even if you want to come at sunrise, I would just go to the main entrance and park there, because you've got to go out that way to pay once you're done anyway. I mean, if you don't pay, there's something wrong with you. Definitely worth it. Even if you come here at 8, you'd probably get most of the place to yourself. There are some people rocking up now, but not a lot. It's not busy at all. Now I just got about a 900 metre, 1k walk back to the ticket office, onto the scooter, and then that's it. Alright guys, so that is the Pakse Loop with the 1 day bonus there. So down to Wat Phou, the town of Champasak, which was a nice little place to relax. Now getting in at sunrise is a little bit awkward. Most people probably just go at 8 o'clock. You'll get it mostly to yourself anyway, but if you are really willing, you can get in for sunrise as well. Just remember to pay on the way out. So with the Champasak extra day on the Pakse Loop, that was about 576 kilometres. Without it, just doing the normal Pakse Loop, the big loop, that was about 463 kilometres for me. Average fuel consumption was about 2.02 litres per 100. I used about 11.85 litres of fuel. So the fuel consumption was a bit better than what it was on the Tad Faek loop.
G'day guys, I'm here at what is... Okay, so we are on the Pakse Loop. Obviously, crossed off a lot of the maps that you'll be getting. But yeah, I won't go for a swim because it's early morning and I don't want to believe. Was that one that you're going to do? That so from the maybe I can't get some more shots. And so Tad Faek, how neat is that? But you can tell that there used to be a path there, or that to swim. Actually, it's a bit shallow. Forget what I just said. The only one I really might give it a comp. So this is, I'm going to head off now to Tad Gneuang, and then so this is day whatever on the
Fire that built.
So this probably looks like it was recently, not by like a, not.
So yeah, so a little bit less fuel consumption than this is the best